I think the expectation...
Here he is, the biggest heavyweight champion in history.
The Haymaker, hey, Nikolai,
Okay, guys. See, David, is the biggest puncher Balluev has faced.
And what happens the first time Balluev lands against the fighter who's been on the floor a few times? Hey, just look at the difference here. Balluev, immense. This is the difference in size between a heavyweight and a flyweight. But of course, anyone over 14 stone 4 in boxing is automatically a heavyweight, which is why these two are in the same ring.
And Balluev has landed and perfected the method of getting up close without taking punches. He's got David on his back foot, which will take some of the power away. Obviously, David is going to have to punch upwards, which will also take away a little bit of his power. So it's going to have to be in-out raiding tactics, but he's been pushed as we expected, straight onto the back foot.
Just on a reconnaissance mission early on, Hay, trying not to get involved, pot-shotting the odd shot, then on his bike again, Balluev, you can see what he's about. He knows what Hay will try, and he will try to cut off the corners, ram home his jab, and if he can, a quite damaging uppercut too.
And he does have an excellent defence, Balluev. He's not quick, so he has to compensate for that with a real tight defence, and he's walking up close already to Hay. Hay could end up burning a lot of nervous energy just because he's under pressure every second. Tried the right hand there, but he was on the move, so obviously losing a lot of his power.
Might need a step ladder to land the punches as well, Hay. He's had his trainers wearing 7-inch Gothic heels to try to simulate what Balluev will be like in the ring. He's been punching upwards, all the equipment's been changed, so he's punching high, but it's difficult.
Well, the best you can see is he's managing maybe to frustrate Balluev in the opening round, but not really landing any punches, which is fine. He's right to have a look. See, you can imagine what it's like giving away 7 stone, but you don't know until you're in there doing it. And David Hay is just finding out what it's like right now.
Good body shot there from Hay. That brought a roar of applause from the British fans. He does have 13 wins inside 2 rounds. Hay, he definitely can hit, and I suspect he can hit even up at heavyweight. But this is only his 3rd fight at the weight. Did anyone get a title shot that quick other than Pete Rademacher, who fought Floyd Patterson in his first fight in '56?
He was just kind of thumped with a counter punch there, and you see it put him straight back onto the defensive. He is just realising how huge this task is. His tactics are right. He's a little bit negative as far as winning the opening round goes. He's landed a good body shot. But this is the tactics he has to employ and hopefully keep frustrating Balluev into making mistakes. But Balluev defends his tight in that instance.
Good tactics these, I think.
So for the full 3 minutes. So obviously away from home, difficult to hope you're going to win a round on the back foot like that.
Yes, there's always the question of how the judges would score a round like that. But aggression has to be effective aggression. I'm not sure Balluev landed much at all, you know, in that first round, despite plodding forward all the time.
Yeah, he landed a couple of counters that knocked David to the side a little bit. They weren't great clean punches, which is maybe just as well. Not really many punches landed from either man. You can't really score for one punch, if you like, in a round.
It's real cat and mouse stuff. But so far so good, in a way, for David Hay, because he really can't afford to just stand there mixing it. He'll reckon, I think, at some point, he'll leap in with one of those hooks, and he's hoping he'll get Balluev going for the first time in the Russian's career.
Well, he just come up with a cheeky little left hook there. He's not looking for power, which I'm pleased about. He's mobile. He's not taking anything. Balluev trying to raise the pace a little bit. He's becoming frustrated. The crowd were booing a little bit there, but I think they want Hay to stand and trade. Obviously, he will not do that.
He does generally have a gunslinger's mentality, David Hay, when he's in there. And I wonder if at some point the switch will move over back to that. The team have worked so hard on the plan that they don't want it thrown away. Well, Lennox Lewis said it, didn't he? You can't hit what you can't catch.
Landed a couple of jabs to the chest, Balluev, but he's not catching David's head, which is good news. David needs these tactics, but just has to land a few more punches.
He's been much more mobile than Evander Holyfield, who fought Balluev a year ago. Very close fight. Many people thought Holyfield won it. He didn't get it. Not here in Germany. And Holyfield was 46 at the time. Having said that, he's probably got a better chin than Hay. Well, he has.
I mean, this is just so difficult for Hay. Just come up for the cruiser. Oh, beautiful right hand!
Oh, terrific shot there. Balluev shakes his head. The giant just demurred for a moment there.
Well, that was the Balluev coming back with the jab there. Well, the better punches have come from Hay in this round. Still obviously looking a little bit negative, but that's what we want to see from him.
This may be the only way to do it with a 7-stone difference. Here's round 3. Balluev, who's been a pro now for 16 years. Don King, who's at ringside, the American promoter, has a slice of him. Leading one of our writers, Ron Lewis of the Times, to come up with the famous line that King had found his Kong.
Well, I think Balluev's going to have to stop throwing single punches if he wants to catch Hay. I mean, against tricky opponents of any description, single punches are the last thing you need. So I wonder if his corner are telling him to put punches together, put them out in threes, and one may land. But single shots, Hay can see them coming.
See, that's the big question already here. Is what Hay is doing enough to win the round with the judges?
I gave him the last round for the jabs to the body and the good solid right hand to the head, because Balluev was sitting fresh here a lot of the time, but I don't really feel that the judges would see it that way. Balluev is the one trying to make this a fight, and in any rounds that are close, he's going to get the nod.
Could be too that Balluev gets tired, you know, carting that 22.5-stone Hulk around the ring trying to chase Hay.
Well, 11 times he's done the 12-round distance, and in most of those fights, it's the last few rounds that have won him the fight. So he's a good 12-round fighter, and he doesn't waste too much. Here's the right hand again, left uppercut.
Just mixing in the odd power shot to take the eye of the judges. Balluev does look frustrated. At a press conference this week, Hay said he would make Balluev look silly and embarrass him, and then later in the fight knock him out.
I keep feeling this is a job that's going to get bigger and tougher as it goes along for David Hay. His tactics are bang on, but I mean, he's under constant pressure. He's been forced to move all the while. He can't expect to be dictating things here. But he's quick and he's boxing so well on the back foot.
He's having to produce something he's never produced before, Hay, in his career. Invent a new style, but I think outstanding fighters can do that in the way that Arturo Gatti did in his second fight with Mickey Ward, the brawler turned boxer.
Well, Hay again led with a left hook to the head that landed. So Balluev struggling to find the target here. He's missing, he's becoming frustrated, and he's still throwing single punches. So that's good news for Hay. I think he's landed more punches so far in this round. Balluev just can't time him. A good right hand again. Glancing blow, but a good punch nevertheless.
Yeah, now you see me, now you don't, wasn't it, from Hay won the first. Whether the judges are giving them to him, that's another matter. Shaking his head, Balluev, Jim, as if to say these aren't registering. I think they might be.
Yep, they're landing, that's the main thing.
Round 4, but I think a major question in this fight, Jim, is can Hay do this? Will his legs last for 12 rounds? Because he's only been beyond 5 4 times in his pro career.
Well, on the move, boxing in the back foot is fine if you're making your opponent waste a lot of energy, miss with a lot of punches. But I don't know that that's the case with Balluev. You know, he's solid in his feet, he just keeps edging forward, but really he should be thinking about putting punches together a little bit more. He's still feeding single shots to Hay, which Hay is coping with.
I think Balluev may feel that his time will come. That's where Hay doesn't want to be. Trapped in the corner by the ropes, and he got out of it very well. Almost like an electric eel.
Well, he's making Balluev leap in with the punches, so at 22 stone, that could take a little bit of the steam out of him. Signs that Balluev really is becoming frustrated.
But the word is on Balluev. People who watch him regularly say that he comes on strong in the second half of the contest, and that may be when Hay does start to tire a little. This is really just the opening couple of chapters in the novel.
Right hand from Balluev there. Not a full power shot, but it landed. He's getting closer to Hay at the moment.
Hay is definitely a hitter. He always has been. He was in the amateurs. He was even as a schoolboy on the streets of Bermondsey, taking on the local schoolboy champions and usually coming out on top.
Balluev is trying to back him into corners. That's the second time he's launched an attack over in his own corner. He's trying to walk Hay into the corners.
Great tactical discipline so far from David Hay, but the italics are for so far.
Balluev doing the greater work in this round. Not landing an awful lot, but Hay not really landing anything at the moment.
There he is, winging away, fast hands with the left hand. Didn't really seem to catch Balluev that clean with that one.
But there's always the question, is what Hay is doing, you know, is it impressing the judges? I wouldn't think so.
Well, they're not noted for being generous to visiting fighters over here, it has to be said. Yeah, that might be true of a few countries as well. And sometimes Britain too, if we're honest with you.
Jab to the body from Balluev. Yep, David missed with 3 shots there. So Balluev's defences and his reflexes were pretty sharp then.
Here's round 5. Balluev towering over David Hay. But he has to land punches consistently to make that weight differential tell.
But he's still in control of his boxing, Balluev. He's still boxing the way he always does. Solid in his feet, edging forward slowly, nudging himself into range before he gets the punches off. On the back foot, you have to be, you know, winning rounds pretty conclusively, especially abroad, and that's going to be an added problem for David Hay.
Hay tonight bidding to become only the 7th man from Great Britain to hold any version of the World Heavyweight Championship. Most famously, of course, Bob Fitzsimmons, way back, Lennox Lewis and Frank Bruno. It's a big, big task. Getting out of range, Balluev. Hay has to do a bit more than he's doing, I'd say, at the moment.
Well, we keep talking about the difference in weight. A good jab from Balluev, but the height difference is equally difficult to cope with. He is having to punch upwards, and then your weight tends to go back towards your heels when you're punching high, so you lose the power. Whereas Balluev is stepping into the punches, punching down, you can generate a bit more power.
He's trying to feint a little, Balluev, before throwing his jab. Hay has watched him studiously. They've worked on things. There's 2 punches, 3 punches to the head from Hay. He has to produce these bursts, I think, to get the nod from the judges at ringside.
Yeah, I think he has to do more work that's going to impress the judges. And that's what's missing. I mean, the tactics are good. The evasive boxing is excellent. But is he coming back with enough?
Again, way out of range. Balluev, even with a huge reach advantage, very light on his feet, making speed count for him, David Haye. But there is this dilemma of these tactics, the only ones I think that could possibly work, given a 7-stone weight differential. Are they enough, these tactics, to win the rounds?
Well, I think the tactics would need to be taking a lot of the steam out of Balluev. Balluev fainting now, upping the pace here. But that's what Balluev has to do. He has to put punches together. He's not imposing himself on David Haye. He's not managing to do that. But I don't know what his corner are telling him. But really, he should be letting punches go and stepping right up close, taking more chances than he's taking. Balluev boxing at his own pace, and those punches look good, but really glancing blows.
On we go to round 6, moving on towards the halfway point in the contest. This is the WBA version of the World Heavyweight Championship. Is it a coronation night for David Haye, or will the dream die right here?
Balluev trying to look a little bit busier, trying to get a bit of rhythm into what he's doing. He's just feinting with the jab. They're not trying to land it, just trying to edge his way close. He's trying different things, which is good news for him, I suppose, not for David Haye. I just fear that Haye is a little bit on the negative side.
That's the danger for him, that people will see it like that. They'll say he's not doing enough to take the title away from home.
Good right hand from Balluev. He's fainting now, and you have to expect Haye to slow down a bit. It's the second half of the fight I always worried about for Haye. I hoped he would be in a handy lead at the halfway stage. That's not the case on my card at the moment.
I think some of these rounds were certainly open to interpretation. Balluev's won the last couple, but maybe Haye did open up a lead if you were looking at it from one perspective early on.
Well, I have Balluev 1 point up at the moment, so Haye's well in it. But his defence is up there, but we need to see more of that from David Haye. He has to let more punches go in and get on out of there.
I had Haye a point up going into this round, so just goes to show it. Open to a different interpretation. Balluev again trying to trap him in the corner. Haye is out of there. Haye's been doing nighttime training for this fight. Even got up and walked at 2 a.m. this morning for an hour, because that's what he was feeling like, that's what his body was telling him. But what he doesn't do is those long endurance runs that most boxers like you did, Jim.
Yeah, well, everyone has their own methods. He became the best cruiserweight champion in the world with those methods, so the work, good left hook. This is what's required, just a little bit more work to catch the judge's eyes. Because for long spells, it's just a little bit too obvious. He's getting himself out of there.
Has to be said, Balluev's been the beneficiary of a number of close-ish decisions in his World Championship fights. When he's nearly always at home advantage, he's got him with a body shot there. The more Balluev can mix it at close quarters with Haye, the more he can make the huge difference in weight tell.
Balluev blocking the right hand there from Haye. He must be frustrated, but again he's keeping his boxing together, because this is what he does. Another round where he has to work the whole 3 minutes under pressure.
Just moving a little quicker. They've tried to train him for a bit more speed. Balluev is just doing that bit more. States, seen him a few times. Luis Pabon, the referee, who's not really had very much to do so far.
And there, yeah, you can see him see again straight onto the back foot, as you would expect. Balluev just doing exactly the same things. There you can see the Balluev has gone ahead in my card over the last couple of rounds. I just don't feel that David has deserved a couple of little punches here and there, but not enough to deserve to win the round. Balluev is working, or trying to work, for the 3 minutes.
One thing that has happened here is that David Haye is surviving okay and is not getting blown away Evander Holyfield said after he fought Valluev, he didn't really hit very hard at all for a man of his size. He might be the biggest heavyweight, but he's certainly not the hardest hitting.
Well, Valluev shaking his shoulders out there, that's signs that maybe the first signs of tiredness. You want to get the blood flowing in the arms again, because he has been hitting a lot of fresh air.
I just would have liked to hear the Hay corner tell him that he possibly needed to do a little more to impress the judges each round.
Well, I would have thought the second half of the fight was the tough part for Hay, and that they would be looking to be sure of winning the early rounds. I mean, backing off for 3 minutes and then landing 1 or 2 punches in the round, I mean, there is no way they're going to score those rounds to David Hay. Partly blocked that left hook from Valluev. Well, Hay still looking very strong, and the legs still very quick.
He's trying to go for that left hook. Good counter there with the right hand from Valluev. Came back with one of his own there, showed a bit of speed, really, for such a man mountain.
Yeah, and probably the better punch of the two also. That was quick. I think that speed surprised me. I'm sure it surprised David Hay as well. Getting the jab home now, Valluev.
Can Hay find one big challenge shot, which would really be a big breakthrough in this fight? You just get the sense that it's still there to be won for David Hay, but you really wouldn't want to rely on the 3 judges here in Germany. You really wouldn't.
Well, I expected things to start becoming tough for David Hay, and there's a couple of signs in this round that that's the case. He's been caught cleanly a couple of times, which Valluev has struggled to do up to now.
Good counter from Hay. Got away again, and leers at Valluev across the ring through his gum shield. Under the railway arches at Vauxhall, is it going to work?
Yeah, well, the better punching, and again, the busier 3 minutes. For me, it was Valluev again. A good right hand there. Double punch, but we need more of it.
8th round. I now have Valluev a point up on my card, having given him all the recent sessions. Still hit and run tactics from Hay, same tactics from the word go. You could argue it's not making for the greatest spectacle, but it's engrossing nonetheless, given the freakish dimensions of Valluev and how much smaller Hay is.
Yeah, as I said earlier, you don't know what it's going to be like until you face a man 7 stone heavier. Well, now he knows.
Valluev is 4-11 now to win this fight, and David Hay 2-1 against. They started 10-11, the pair of them. So the bookmakers think this is going Valluev's way. I just think Hay has to do more. He's going to have to do more than this to win the title here.
Well, Evander Holyfield failed because he didn't throw enough punches. His movement was good, his tactics were good. So he needs to impress the judges a little bit more. It's better.
Just one sharp jab though. Single shots in the main. Hay may need fast combinations then away again. Valluev so strong. It was Hay really who had the questions to answer in this fight as the former cruiserweight moving up.
Well, there's so many missed punches in the fight. I suppose you could score it pretty much a lot of the rounds the way you want to. But unfortunately, Hay is the one with the negative tactics. That right hand was blocked. But Valluev breathing a little bit heavy, which is the first bit of good news.
He's missed so much, Valluev, here, though. How many jabs has he thrown that have not found their target? I mean, he's plodding forward. I don't think you should give points for just walking forward. You've got to land, Jim. You've got to land.
Yeah, but I mean, do you win a round with 2 punches?
Well, I think Hay's winning. I think Hay's winning this round.
Yes, he's much more accurate in this round. This is, thankfully, the best round I've seen from David for the last little while. And this is what's needed. You've got to get the punches off. Maybe feint a little bit more. Try to get Valluev off balance, but Valluev still boxing at his own comfortable pace. But I agree, this is a better round for Hay.
Look at it, missed by miles. Valluev telegraphed the shot. Hay slipped it easy, came back with something. He's winning this round. If he keeps on doing this, it'll be better. Look how much Valluev missed by then. Then a body punch from Hay. He's gaining confidence there. Wounds one up, goes.
Well, some good work from Hay in that round. Putting punches out, 2s and 3s. Valluev obviously missing. Important stage in the fight.
Hay needs more of the same here. Needs to repeat that last round in this round. He counter-punched very well. He says all the insults pre-fight were to try to make Valluev fight angry, come to him, make errors and leave himself open to counters. I think we might have a row with the scoring if this goes the distance, you know, a big row.
Yeah, well, I've got it close, but I mean, I can see there's a possibility the judges will not like David's tactics. I don't know.
There's a lot of people out there who think that this world heavyweight division, which has had a bit of a charisma bypass operation in recent years, needs Hay's colour and explosiveness. Not that he's been colourful and explosive tonight, but I think he's had to change because it's the only way, isn't it? Yeah,
you can't expect him to stand and trade with someone 7 stones heavier. He's showing little feints now, trying to draw leads from Valluev. Good tactics, but Valluev just taking his time again.
It just might come a point, though, where Hay needs to take the bull by the horns a bit more. Right hand and away again from Hay. Super quick. Stamina's okay so far, no sign of him tiring badly. Valluev 22 stone, 8 pounds, Hay 15 stone, 8 pounds.
Well, Valluev is normally good at getting himself into range, but the speed of Hay really is confusing him. Good right hand again from Hay.
Super punches, that was a combination. And once again, he was nowhere to be seen once the punches had landed. Valluev tried to find him with a counter. He'd gone.
Well, at the moment, Hay has landed 3 decent punches, maybe 4. Valluev has landed nothing. But we're faced with the question, how will the judges like this?
Well, you'd love to think that the fight is being scored fairly on effective aggression and punches landed. We'll see. Wouldn't be the first row, would it, in boxing about a decision?
No, and it wouldn't be the first round over here either. Valluev has not landed a punch this round. There goes David. Good right hand again. This is exactly what we need to make it obvious he is landing more punches than Valluev. Not pin this fellow down.
Of course, if it was only about size, maybe Pavarotti would have been world heavyweight champion. There's more to it.
Yeah, well, I have David Hay tightening things up. I had Valluev running away with it a little bit. I'm 3 points up for the last 2 rounds to Hay. So things tight on my card. But I keep stressing, we're over here in Germany, and David is spending a long time on the back foot.
Not that he really had a choice, of course.
No, of course not. But in the last couple of rounds, he's let some punches go, and that's what was needed. And Valluev still pumping out the single shots. I don't know what his corner is telling him, but that's not the tactics against a slippery opponent. You have to put punches together, maybe miss with a couple, be prepared to land with the third or the fourth.
Hay almost like an annoying wasp, circling a man in a deck chair and getting the odd sting in and getting away again, but he has to keep on stinging. There's a right hand from Valluev there. He almost caught Hay in the corner. Good body shot from Hay. He's making him look dreadfully one-dimensional, isn't he, Valluev here?
Well, he looks that at the best of times. but he's also frustrated tonight. Normally he can get to opponents, he just can't seem to do that tonight with Hay. Just a few more punches is what's needed from Hay. Right hand from Balluev.
Now the guys watching in the studio for us tonight all think Balluev is winning the fight at the moment. Who can tell? Who can tell how these rounds are being interpreted by our judges?
Well, I think Balluev is winning this round, Ian. David is not doing enough. Balluev showing little feints, little threats, a bit more technique in what he's doing, not quite plodding forward the way he was doing earlier.
Fortunes are swinging this way and that, but Hay just might have to become a lot more positive late on in the fight here.
Well, right hand from Hay, but it was blocked by Balluev. Balluev looking a bit more purposeful in this round. He's staying on Hay now, not allowing him to break off and have little breathers. He's staying on him here, and that's what he should be doing, imposing himself, not allowing Hay to dictate the pace. He's shown the discipline, he's shown the tactics, so we have to give him full credit for that. Shown the belief too, but he needs to be a little bit busier. Remember where we are, even at home, he would be struggling to win a fight with these tactics. The fact that Balluev is missing so much, he can nick rounds onto Hay because he is landing, but his tactics are negative.
This is one American writer once said in a fight rather similar to this: you can't win using Fred Astaire strategy.
I mean, there's times you have to ask yourself, are we impressed? Does David deserve to go home with Balluev's title tonight?
Or does Balluev deserve to keep it, is another question I'd ask, because he's been pretty awful, frankly.
He's been pretty awful, but in every round he's tried to make a fight of it. Everything he's tried to do has been nullified, but nullifying is not enough. You have to come back with something else. And some of the rounds David has done that, but not at the moment.
A bit messy. Referee who's almost been unemployed at last has something to say. I don't think there's been a single clinch in the fight, and that's to Hay's credit. He doesn't want clinches where Balluev can lean on. That's good from Hay. Little smile from him as he landed, but there needs to be more. What worries me a bit is that Hay thinks he's putting these rounds away, and he probably thinks he's winning the fight by a mile.
I mean, you have to ask yourself, if there's only one decent punch landed in a round and one man's been on his back foot for the full 3 minutes, I mean, do you score the round on one punch? I mean, it's aggression, you know, effective aggression, what you're putting into a contest. You know, things have to be taken into consideration. Also, quality of the punches that are landing.
While he's walking, he needs to be thinking of throwing Hay. The leather has to fly a bit now, I'd say, because we're really into the home stretch of this. He's passed the stamina test, Hay, more than passed it. He's got himself in terrific shape for this fight. That much is clear, otherwise the legs would have gone by now.
I mean, he's totally frustrated Balluev all night long. But is that enough to be taking a world title home? I'm not impressed with the haste quite so much this round. Again, not coming back with enough punches. Left hook from Balluev.
Took one, gave one.
Good jab too from Balluev.
He's very rarely been able to get his jab to work in this contest, though, simply because Hay hasn't been in front of him. This looks like it's going to the judges. Last 3 minutes for the WBA Heavyweight Championship of the world here in Nuremberg. Balluev has tried to hunt down Hay all night, not with much success, but maybe with enough to get the nod on what is basically his home patch. Even though he's a Russian, he's, in boxing terms, an adopted German, fighting for the local promoter. Wonder what's going through Hayes' mind now.
I thought at least once during the fight he would have stepped forward and tried to test Balluev's chin, but he stuck to the plan. He's shown tremendous discipline, hasn't done that, so we could well be left wondering what if he landed his best shot on that man's chin.
Well,
Good shot there.
The plan was based on the fact, I think, that Balluev had never been even hurt in his 16-year pro career. There was no point trying to knock him out. The only way was to try to beat him on points with speed tactics. Whether those tactics have been carried out effectively enough, of course, is the big question. Good right hand from Hay there. He's probably winning the last at the moment. Balluev out of range with his jab, and you could have said that 100 times tonight.
Yeah, David making it obvious that Balluev's missing. Balluev trying to drive himself forward. Two good shots from Hay.
Needs more of that. Sometimes he must feel like it's paper darts
And
against the
again.
mouth. Oh, he's got it going with a left hook. What a finish here. Hay gets to Balluev, who definitely did a silly dance there. He nearly took down the giant.
Is David now wishing he had gone for it earlier and tested this man's chin? I just said that half a minute ago. He would regret he hadn't really tested his chin. Well, he tested it there, and nearly come up trumps.
And another big left hand from Hay, and a right hand too. He's certainly finishing the stronger here. Half a minute left in this round as Hay have to keep on going for it here. Is this enough? He's certainly winning this last round, and he's done this brilliantly in the last round.
He should be giving it everything here. He's away from home. He must know the only sure way of victory here is knockout, and he's shown he's got the power to achieve that.
He's going for it. He had the giant tottering, but not falling. Well, what drama late in the fight. Hay now is conducting the crowd, saying, I've won this, you know. He certainly made Balluev look very silly, and I just wonder whether we're heading for a big controversy here.
Just half a minute before that incident, I was saying, I wonder would Hay go home and regret the fact that he didn't really...
To the winner by majority decision from London, England, the new
David Hay is the WBA heavyweight champion of the world. What a moment! Britain's 7th world heavyweight title holder.
I've never been so happy in my life to be proved wrong. This is tremendous for David Hay and for British boxing.
He did get it right. The judges did appreciate the tactics. It's a magnificent triumph. No fighter in history has given away 7 stones in a fight and triumphed until tonight. Well, well, well.